We've got some really interesting news that just came in regarding Aaron Taylor Johnson, who has been officially cast as Kraven the Hunter in Sony's Kraven movie. Now, this is a movie that nobody really asked for, and honestly, I could care less about the Marvel Sony films because Sony is desperate in creating their own universe, and they started things out with the Venom film, which is actually kind of like a decent subpar Venom film, but I feel like a whole lot is missing, especially one key character, and that is Spider-Man. To me, I would have preferred if Venom appeared in a Spider-Man movie and then went off into a solo film, because it would have made the solo film that much better. We all know that Venom is more of an anti-hero than he is a villain in the comics, and he did went off to go get his own spin-off solo comic book titles after the fact he's appeared as a villain in the Spider-Man comics. So I think the film would have worked better if he appeared as a villain and then he went off and changed his ways to leave Peter Parker Spider-Man alone and to become more of an anti-hero protector. But anyways, Sony is going to keep going hard at like its own universe, which is, you know, the Sony Marvel universe, whatever you want to call it. And I want to talk about it, and I want to discuss my theories, my concerns, and how I'm kind of cautiously optimistic about this movie, but not too worried at the same time. So anyways, before I get into this subject a little bit deeper, I want you guys to go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. I post videos on a daily, and I do live streams about twice a week, which is Tuesdays and Sundays from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So go ahead and calculate that, whatever time zone that is for you in the United States or wherever you are in the world. Calculate that time zone so you don't miss it. And lastly, join my Discord. It's actually the way that I found out about these news regarding Aaron Taylor Johnson playing Kraven the Hunter in the new solo Kraven movie. And I want to thank you guys in Discord for keeping me up to date and just making it a fun place to chat, you know, about comic books, movies, games, memes, you name it, it's all here. So join the Discord family. The invitation link to that is down in the description box below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and continue and break this thing down. So Sony cast Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter, and this is quite a bit of a doozy. You all remember Aaron Taylor Johnson playing Quicksilver, Pietro Maximoff in Avengers Age of Ultron, and his character is dead. And I think Sony makes it seem like it's okay to cast him. Now, I don't have any doubts. I'm sure he will do just fine. Aaron Taylor Johnson can pull off a Russian Sokovian accent just like he did in Avengers Age of Ultron, but I'm sure he can play a good Kraven the Hunter with a really good accent. I mean, the guy's already built like Kraven the Hunter, and I'm sure he'll look the part and he'll do a phenomenal job. That's not my concern. My major concern is, how is this going to tie to the MCU? Because one key player in the Kraven the Hunter story, and I think Sony wants to adapt Kraven's Last Hunt, and we all know that story for those of you who are Spider-Man comic book readers and fans. Kraven basically proves to be a better Spider-Man and ends up committing suicide at the very end by shooting himself. And if they're gonna call Kraven the Hunter, or Kraven, the movie Kraven, if they're gonna make it its first original story be its last, I can see a lot of memes generating from that. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, Sony would usually want to capitalize on something like this, especially since it's a well-known Spider-Man character. At least make it a trilogy. So anyways, let's go ahead and read the article and then we can discuss a little bit more. So 6 years after he was gunned down in Avengers Endgame, Aaron Taylor Johnson is returning to the Marvel Universe. Only this time he's playing one of the Spider-Man's deadliest enemies. The rap brings that word that Taylor Johnson will be headlining Sony's upcoming Kraven the Hunter film. This marks Taylor Johnson's third major superhero theme role to date. His breakthrough came in 2010 when he starred in Kick-Ass, based on Mark Millar and John Romita Jr.'s comic of the same name. He eventually returned to play the title character in Kick-Ass 2 in 2013. 2 years later, Taylor Johnson remained the MCU as Pietro Maximoff Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, which seems to have been a one-and-done appearance, but since Kraven is Russian in the comics, he'll probably end up recycling Pietro's Eastern European accent in Sony's new film. And Taylor Johnson went on to star in movies like Godzilla, Nocturnal Animals, and Outlaw King. He most recently had a role in Tenet and will next appear in Matthew Vaughn's The King's Man. So Sony began developing a Kraven the Hunter movie in 2018 when they hired Richard Wenk to write the script. J.C. Chandler signed on to direct the film last summer, and there hasn't been a lot of new info on the project since then. However, it looks like Sony has also recruited Uncharted writers Art Markham and Matt Holloway to revise Wenk's draft. And the report also claims that the studio has signed Taylor Johnson to play a multi-picture deal. So Kraven the Hunter will hit theaters on January 13th, 2023. How do you feel about Aaron Taylor Johnson's playing the character in the film? You give me your impressions and thoughts and comments down below. Now, again, this is bringing up the concerns that I have about the movie and, about the character and whatnot and what they're going to do with the character's future. You read it here, folks. It basically states that he's going to have a multi-picture deal. They do want to adapt Kraven's Last Hunt, but I don't know how they're going to go about that. And again, and I'm going to bring this up again, Spider-Man plays a key role in those kinds of stories. You can't have Kraven the Hunter or a Venom film without Spider-Man. And how they're going to go about getting Spider-Man in these movies if Sony's going to keep adapting Spider-Man based characters such as Kraven the Hunt, Silver and Black, Venom, of course Morbius. Those characters are all part of Spider-Man's rogues galleries and allies, basically. And at what point do you bring Spider-Man involved? Do you think that they're going to get Tobey Maguire or perhaps Andrew Garfield, who played Spider-Man back in the day, involved in these movies to make an appearance, so that way it gives a character like Kraven the Hunter a purpose and a person to basically hunt for? Do you think Tom Holland's going to do a major crossover from the MCU to the Sony Marvel Universe? Is Tom Holland going to be still canon to the MCU if Tom Holland appears in Kraven the Hunter, Venom, and Morbius future films? I don't know exactly what to say here. Now, this is one of the things that kind of frustrates me about Sony. Now, Sony is a great company. I'm a fan of Sony. I love their products, I love their cameras, and I love their PlayStation console. But sometimes I feel like Sony is so stubborn that I just feel like grabbing them by the neck and just choking them and going like, why are you doing this? Nobody asked you to make these movies. This just further complicates things, and it ruins basically like the canon of these films. Like, for the sake of canonizing, and keeping things canon, leave things be, leave it alone. And Sony, please stop adapting Marvel's Spider-Man character movies. It kind of confuses the audience. It's got people like me scratching their heads going like, well, how is this gonna work? Are you going to plan to do a multi-universe crossover where Tom Holland jumps into this universe and meets characters like Venom, like Kraven the Hunter, like Morbius? I'm not exactly sure what Sony's going for here, and I am a little confused, admittedly. Yes, I can only have so many theories. Now, if Sony does plan on continuing making more Spider-Man based characters, where characters such as Morbius and Kraven the Hunter and like other well-known rogues gallery characters such as, Morbius and whatnot, keep appearing as the headline of the film, what do these characters' futures look like? Will they appear in future MCU projects? Will they star side by side with Tom Holland's Peter Parker Spider-Man? Who knows really at this point? I don't know exactly what Sony's going for. At this point, it remains a bit ambiguous, and I'm kind of curious to see where it goes from here. So anyways, you let me know your thoughts about this whole Kraven the Hunter fiasco. It seems like Sony is really pushing it and really wants to do it. In fact, I was actually on the Kraven the Hunter movie Twitter page, and barely anybody's following it. It just basically is a testament to show you that nobody really cares about this movie at all. So let's go ahead and take a look at Kraven the movie Twitter page. Hold on a second. Actually, you know what? Let me go to Evan Falarka. Evan, I'm putting you here. Not on blast, but just showing you. Here we go. See, Evan Falarka retweeted this. Retweet if you currently have more followers than Kraven the Hunter movie Twitter page. And I do. And I did retweet it. And I loved it. That's actually pretty funny. This is the official Kraven the Hunter, Kraven the movie Twitter. So only 52 followers. Not really many people really care about this movie. Nobody really asked for it. Kraven the Hunter isn't exactly a household name. But then again, you can go ahead and argue that basically if you take any Marvel character and make it into an awesome film, it'll catch on, it'll be popularized, like more of the characters' comics will start to sell. It's been done before, and I'm pretty sure it could be done again, but really nobody's asking for this movie unless you feature Spider-Man. Maybe perhaps one of the past Spider-Man actors that played him, like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. So that's pretty much all I have to say for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts or comments or concerns about this Kraven the Hunter film, you comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Do you care about a Kraven the Hunter film? Do you want to see Kraven the Hunter? What are your thoughts about Aaron Taylor Johnson playing the role of Kraven the Hunter? Comment down below, guys. Thank you so much for watching once again. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. As always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.